Thank you for joining us this morning on Press Review. In the studio this morning we have our guest, Sir Jerry Obodo, who is also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Sir Jerry.
Good morning, AJ. Good morning, Noye.
Good morning. You're welcome to Good Morning Anambra show.
Thank you very much.
All right. And what are you saying to the governor for the re-election bid?
Well, it's a cheering news. I congratulate him and hope he continues doing the good job he's doing already.
All right.
Now quickly, let's go and bring you up to speed with news making rounds on ABS website before we begin to delve into the national dailies. And the first story we have for you from ABS website is election victory. Anambra stakeholders set agenda for Soludo. Jubilation trails Soludo's re-election victory. Anambra State Assembly Deputy Speaker Okoye, Soludo's aide Moye commend INEC for conducting credible election. Operatives of Nigerian Army arrest 14 oil thieves in Niger Delta. Climate change. Millions of people displaced across the globe. Reps probe management of health sector grants and World Cup qualifying playoff. Nigerians knock NFF over poor lodging facilities for Super Eagles. And also, former French President Sarkozy released from jail after 3 weeks. That's all we have for you from ABS website this morning.
It can only happen in developed countries of the world.
Where institutions are stronger than individuals. But very soon we'll see that happening in Nigeria.
Maybe you're the person that is going to be jailing them.
Our jails and our correctional centers will be filled with money bags. Well, quickly, let's begin to delve into them as we have it. The election stories has all gone, but then the one that is worrisome, climate change, millions of people displaced across the globe. The weather is unpredictable, but then you can forecast it. Even when you forecast it, it still doesn't give you the correct outcome. And we've had issues where people have been displaced in this part of the world, talking about Nigeria flooding and the rest of it all. And now we're having the same challenge across the world, talking about millions of people displaced.
Even Tehran is having drought. They are asking them to start saving water. And you begin to wonder what actually is going on in our world of today.
Some people are having enough of flood. Some people are having shortage of it. Mr. Jerry, climate change.
Yeah, is a reality, and it's been warnings we are giving, way back, and so many governments did not heed it. The global change, the pollutions, from industries, the cutting down of trees, and so many other things that can trigger this kind of unwelcome climate.
Most of this climate change you complain about, when you look into it, you will discover that 70% of it is man-made. 70% of all this climate change that we have, it is man interfering with
nature.
Exactly, has already taken place. So that's why we're having these people, millions of people displaced across the globe. Now let's come home to our own climate here, talking about reps probe management of health sector grants. Very, very important, because a country that cannot take care of its healthy and the sick is already a country that is diving into obscurity. And now, what do you have to say about this issue? Every time we keep hearing this issue of mismanagement of money, probe, and the rest of it all. Not just in the health sector, but that's what we want to talk about right now.
Yeah, it's across board, education, name it. Strikes, threats, strike going on, and all that. Health issues, hospital looking like a consulting clinics without any equipment. Our rulers, that's what I call them, not leaders. The foreign trips, foreign medical trips, and all that is a sad commentary on the country that cannot manage their resources properly, channel it properly to maintain and equip their hospital and even pay the medical staffs and others, you know.
And now, operatives of Nigerian Army arresting 14 oil thieves in Niger Delta. You know, one thing is making arrests. Then another thing is serving justice to people that faulted, you know, to serve as deterrent to others that may venture into such, you know, in the nearest future. But I don't know what actually is our problem in this part of the world. We'll hear a story that so and so people were arrested. Then at the end of the day, is punishment meted out to these people to serve as deterrent to other defaulters?
Yeah, that's one angle to this problem. The culprits, when they are arrested, are they the due process allowed to, take a note, like charging them to court, so that the court will determine the extent of their involvement and the punishment meted out to them. The other one is I have suggested that part of what can curb this is the federal government creating a cluster for these young ones that have some technical know-how on this oil and refining process, and give them the license and all the incentives to refine and throw out to the public. This will curb them, going back illegally to this, problem from time to time. You hear this and all that. During the Biafran era, they were refining with nothing. So is with that technical know-how they have, let they be channeled, in a legal way, so that we won't be repeating all these thieves in Delta all the time. Thank you.
All right, let's move on now to the papers for the day. The Daily Sun is first in a lineup. Now, Sultan cautions Nigerians, advises citizens not to allow outsiders divide us. As governors go spiritual, ask traditional rulers to consult gods of the land. PDP convention, Imo party chair, others demand sanction against Oyo judge. Nigeria's democracy under threat from electoral fraud, apathy. Dixon Amechi speaking. And of course, we have other stories. More trouble for ex-Bayelsa Governor Sylvia, with a right that the EFCC insists he has questions to answer, declares him wanted. Now, WHO, FCDO hail Governor Mba's investment in health system development. Manpower shortage hits the shipping sector. 5,000 cadets lack sea time training. Domestic airlines need single-digit interest rates, special forex window. Okonkwo, United Nigeria CEO, as airline commences Nigeria-Ghana flight. These are some of the stories we are trending with the pictures there saying Chairman Senate Committee on Privatization, Dr. Ojus Okalo, with Senator Agom Joribo and wife, Fifi, at a private event in Abuja yesterday. And of course, Chairman Senate, okay, that's an event they attended yesterday in Abuja. Quickly, let's see the next paper for review, which is the Punch newspaper. On Punch this morning, we have Trump threat, troops pound terror bases in key states. With rider there, 86 rescued in air, ground assaults in Borno, Kwara, Katsina, Boko Haram, ISWAP clash leaves 50 dead. Okay, $14 million probe. EFCC put Silva on FBI Interpol watch list. Over 100,000 policemen assigned to VIPs. 9 banks pocket 14.7 trillion naira interest income. Presidency eyes NNPC shake-up as oil output falters. And Tinubu pushes Siemens deal for fresh 4,000 megawatts power. PDP convention, Wike block petitions, NGC. And motorists stranded as Oyo residents protest road extension. Gaming bill, Lagos sues National Assembly for contempt. All right, let's start with this Trump threat and the outcome of the threat in recent days. Now, this troops pound terror bases in key states, rescued 86 in air, ground assaults in Borno, Kwara, Katsina, Boko Haram, ISWAP clash leaves 50 dead.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, this problem of insecurity has been there with us for so many years now. First beginning with Boko Haram from Borno State, and the effort that was made during that time by President Goodluck Jonathan through his Army Chief of Staff, Major General Azubike Ihejirika, should have wiped out the Boko Haram in the country that time. But you know, the Northerners prevailed on the president to change him for their ulterior motive interest, and that continued to grow in leaps and bounds, and started burning other brothers and sisters like ISWAP, the headers men, Fulani jihadists, and others. So that's a result of not managing the situation initially. Now, as the thing grows on, so many lives were lost, properties that you cannot quantify lost, especially from what we have, evidence we have, the Christians are mostly targeted. You know, if I begin to narrate them, you know, we can't even, it can't be sufficient for this time. But in the case of war, Benue, where in just one attack, 200 lives were lost, and so many others. So, you know, there's time for everything, time to grow and time to die. By the grace of God, Trump intervened with evidences that he has, and he made a threat, and also designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. That's the first step towards other processes that we follow.
All right, let's look at the story of Sultan cautioning Nigerians. Sorry, you know, in fact, as I was reading this, I was like, is there anybody dividing us, or are we dividing ourselves? Looking at what has been going on in the country for some time now, you know, when a particular tribe will do something and nothing will be done about it, but a particular tribe will be, you know, targeted, and, you know, so many things going on. Now, I say that advises citizens not to allow outsiders divide us, as governors go spiritual, ask traditional rulers to consult gods of the land. You know, the problem in our country did not start today. But all of a sudden, because of what Trump said, everybody is running helter-skelter. I just pray that they will genuinely do the needful this time around.
Both Sultan and the governors, they are all economical with the truth. And that is what is leveling this country. Tribalism, sectionalism is the bane of this country. If it does not affect me, no problem. If it affects the other tribe, is for them, you know. So the Sultan, he was there when all these problems were there. You know, the Christians being killed, targeted. He has not commented on that. You know, and so many other things. When you know, this student was killed in his domain because he's a Christian and all that. So, like I said, they are not. They are economical with the truth. They don't want to tell themselves the truth, and the truth is the only thing that can set them free. Like I said, there's time for everything. At the appropriate time, God may or will intervene in the affairs of the people. I think you know, God is using Trump to.
All right,
see if he
that means
rewrite-
we need to keep hope alive.
Yes.
All right, let's move on now to the next papers for review. Or do you have any other story there to bring
No,
up?
like you said now, when our leaders are resorting to prayers to save us from what is already, you know,
And even
costing
asking traditionalists to
to
consult
consult
the
the
gods.
gods. That's to tell you how laughable the people that we trust the leadership of this country into their hands. Quickly, next for review this morning is the Vanguard newspaper. Let's begin with the mast, the story there at the mast. Nigeria's private sector credit soars 75.9% in 2 years. And then we have the PDP pro-anti-convention forces fight as court adjourns case to November 12. Let's unite against extremism. That's coming from Olubadan and Shoyinka and NHRC. 2027 rigging worst coup. Dixon, Amechi, those are their comments. Then the banner headline is screaming insecurity. Now strike kills, kill terrorists, bandits in Borno, Kwara, Katsina, others. And let's see the many riders that we have there. FCT Police, DSS commends special patrols on places of worship, border areas. 4 nursing mothers abducted in Kano. Governor Sule orders manhunt after midnight attack in Keina local government area. No inch of Kebbi under bandit control. That's coming from Governor Idris. Over 100 killed as Boko Haram factions clash with ISWAP in Borno border community with Niger Republic. Progressive governors tax monarchs to invoke local spiritual powers against insecurity nationwide. And also we have here why we declared Timipre Silva wanted. That's coming from the EFCC. It's coordinated political onslaught aid as Ijo youth kick. Trump threatens BBC with $1 billion lawsuit over January 6th speech edit. Then we have World Health Organization, FCDO hails Mba's commitment to health development. And then also we have here shocker, Chile old salaries and World Cup playoffs. Let's see what the comic relief that will probably make some of the things that our government are saying look like a joke with this Mr. and Mrs. caption here. Alant, the man in the next flat house, was beating his wife when the neighbors intervened. What was her offense? That's the woman talking. And then the man replied, he said his wife served him cookies in a dirty saucer. He was about to fling the piece of ceramics at her when I held his hand. The brute nearly invented another flying saucer. Wow, that's really, really funny. Quickly, let's go to the next paper, and that's this day newspaper. And then let's begin with the banner story. They're telling us Tinubu moves to fast-track cement power project, recommit to stable electricity. With riders there saying, the president says economic development without reliable power supply. Or rather, president said no economic development without reliable power supply. Of course, that's true. Directs expansion of transformer substations to 3 phases. Deal seek to raise Nigeria's power supply to 25 gigawatts from 5 gigawatts. And then we have alleged $1 billion loan claim Next Oil queries FBN Quest refusal to provide bank statement. Shoyinka, Nigeria's crisis, not Christian-Muslim war, but battle against extremists. EFCC declares ex-minister Timipriye Silva wanted over alleged $14.8 million refinery fraud. No longer the case of being wanted for having a hand, a leg, and probably a neck in the coup, purported coup. Now he's being wanted for the $14.8 million fraud. That's how funny the investigations that goes around in this country seems at times. From wanting him allegedly to be plotting or mastermind of a coup, now they are bringing him home for something different. I really don't know, but probably Sir Jerry Obodo, you're old enough to tell us how these things work in this part of the country.
Well, you know, it's still if they have any evidence of corruptly enriching himself to that too, they should you know, bring it before the court, and Timipriye Silva, you know, will come and you know, give his own part of the story. That's on that side. You know, we know that our, you know, the rulers, you know, of this country, they are very, very greedy and highly insatiable. You can imagine where people will, you know, dip hands into Commonwealth of State or Commonwealth of Nigeria and siphon a humongous, gargantuan, if you like, sums of money stashed in accounts overseas for the foreign countries to be using it and loaning to African countries. It's very, very pathetic. So my take on that is let him appear with his own side of the story, his own evidence. You know, he was also mentioned or fingered on the coup. How far that one goes is still not clear. We are still watching with the military chaps that was allegedly you know, arrested. We are still waiting and watching to see how it unfolds. Yeah.
Okay, quickly, let's talk about this insecurity. The caption there, the front page of Vanguard newspaper. It behoves and baffles every well-meaning Nigerian to think that a president of the United States will just say something and probably tell the president that certain form of injustice is going on some religious sect, even though people have come up to say it's not just about Christians and Muslims, like it's being captured here, that there's something more sinister to what's happening here. All of a sudden, we're not seeing that Nigeria, we now have a Nigerian military, Air Force.
Waking up.
You understand? They are bombing, rescuing 86 people, Ishwap and
special patrols are washing places.
And now the IG is coming to tell us that over 100,000 police with VIPs. And you begin to wonder, what was happening all this while? So does it mean that a president of another country needs to now look into what's happening here before we sit up? Please, what is that not irresponsibility of the highest order, if I may say?
You are very, very correct. It's highly irresponsible and insensitive. You know, I've been, you know, saying this here time without number. How can a president of a country be there and the universities are not functioning well? You see them going on strike now and then. Some of the students that their parents are, you know, have the wherewithal and send them abroad, graduate and have their doctorate degrees while their mates here are still on the 300 level. So it's highly sensitive. The same applies to security. Like I said, you know, it was said that if insecurity or all these, whatever name you can call it, terrorists, ISWAP, others, Fulani jihadists, lasts for 48 hours or more, that the government hand is there. or they are not serious in confronting it. Like I said, you know, former Army Chief of Staff was about extinguishing those guys in Borno State before the Northerners said that he's killing their children or whatever. So it shows that the president that they are not serious in tackling the insecurity until Trump's threat. You can imagine where a cleric, Sheikh Gumi, goes to negotiate with people, these guys, and pay them, and you know, they take the money and release it. Where is the government and the security when those Gumi and terrorists or whatever name they are there? You know, the responsible government will pick all of them that place. You know, so it's something not happy.
All right, let's run for want of time there. There is a story I would want us to look at, but let's read out the other stories before we talk. The, you know, Nestor rising to the, you know, what's the allegation that their company was sealed or over debt owed the bank. Now they've risen, but before we talk about that, let's see the Nation newspaper and of course the Guardian. In front of the Nation, we see Sylvia wanted by EFCC over $14.8 million fraud. Of course, we see other stories. Religion, not Nigeria's crisis, says Shoyinka. Nakon slashes 2026 Hajj fare to 7.6 million. Is it per person? Lottery, Lagos used National Assembly for defying Supreme Court. Of course, airstrikes kill terrorists. We've seen that before. Obebolo revokes museum's C of O, takes EU envoys to monarch. Federal government CMN scale up 22.3 billion euro power project. PDP factions ask NJC to sanction Ibadan George. Quickly, we move to the next paper, The Guardian, to see stories there. Next oil to appoint forensic auditors to verify loan claims, bank statements. And there's a rider there. It said calls for transparency in Nigerian financial system. 33 years later, hope deems for safer pipeline supplies of Jet A1 to airport. WHO declares 24 million living with diabetes in Africa. Fraud, apathy, threatening democracy, Dixon Amechi says. And of course, other stories, court adjourns suit on PDP convention again. EFCC declares, okay, we've seen that. FG urges calm as showing northern groups reject Trump's genocide claims. Is it asking people to be calm? Everybody in Nigeria knows exactly what is going on in the country. So even the pastor that came out and was, you know, with a long list of his church members that were killed. So let's look at this story of Nest Oil. We know that I think last 2 weeks, it trended that their office in Lagos was sealed because they owed the bank. Now, Nest Oil is to appoint forensic auditors to verify loan claims, bank statements. And according to this day newspaper, they said they moved to appoint 10 local and international forensic auditors for all its Nigerian banks' accounts. That's the step Next Oil wishes to take. I don't know what's your take on that.
My take on that is that you know, they should reconcile their books. This Oil is a business organization, and the banks are there to. And
the money that is being mentioned, $1 billion.
I know it's a very staggering amount. So, you know, it's a good thing that, you know, the forensic auditors are being involved. That's why I said there's a need for reconciliation. The reconciliation is the banks tendering their books, how they came about this. Then Nest Oil tendering their own, how their own side of the story. that there's a reconciliation. How do we have how come we have this difference? So that those things are what they'll be looking at, and the forensic auditors will be looking at, so that at the end of the day, it will be resolved. The banks are there to render services to genuine customers, either in terms of loaning or depositing and all that. So that this is not something that is not tenable. It's something that they can just come together and reconcile their accounts.
All right, let's look at this. In the area of health, WHO declaring 24 million Africans living with diabetes. This is a huge number, if you ask me. In the whole of Africa, 24 million living with diabetes. I hope and I wish they can tell us what to do to reduce the number.
The number could be more even.
Really?
Yeah, because the statistics, there could be unreported ones.
Okay.
So it could be higher than that. But I think it's a
call for concern.
Yes, it's call for concern, and it's a management kind of illness. You have to subject yourself to processes of living with it. That's the way. You have to live with it, but you have to observe some conditions.
Highly disciplined.
Yes.
All right.
That's the thing.
Let's go down and see what the other papers have before we now round up. Next,
to talk on the Erichele and the salary.
no problem. We'll get that. Let's do a rundown. Let's do a rundown.
All right.
Papers. Then we can talk on that. Sorry for that. Daily Trust newspaper is up next for review this morning, and then we have at the master of it we have Abuja Hospital mortuary drowns in stench, decay, and Silver EFCC puts FBI, NCA, Interpol on alert. And then we have Obasanjo under my watch. US wouldn't do anything in Africa without our knowledge. Bandits attack 5 vehicles, abduct passengers in Kogi. Wow. And we have federal government pushes for Ekweremadu's transfer to Nigeria. PDP convention, Damagong led National Working Committee mulls Wike's expulsion. NACON reduces Hajj fare to 7.6 million naira. Many killed as Boko Haram ISWAP clash in Lake Chad region. Next to review is the Nigerian Tribune. And we have the same story here. Reps invite EFCC, ICPC to probe 4.6 billion global fund US grant. EFCC declares Timipre Silva wanted. Boko Haram ISWAP clash at Borno border, over 150 killed. NAF kills ISWAP terrorist bandit in precision air strikes across northern states. Police partner DSS orders to intensify patrol operations around churches in Abuja. We place high premium on stable power. That's coming from the presidency. National Hajj Commission announces cuts in 2026 Hajj fare. Health. Coffee may protect against irregular heartbeats by 99%, or is that 99 or 89%? That's coming from study. Well, I think I took coffee yesterday. Let me see if that's protecting my heart. Historical mistrust, land grabbing, illegal mining, banditry, trigger violence. That's coming from the presidency. As Tinubu receives zonal briefs on security infrastructure as the rider there. Okpebolo revokes MOWAA of O at site be returned to Benin Central Hospital. And then we have wildlife trafficking, court sent to prison. Orders for feature of, is that gorilla? I think so. That should be gorilla. And that's all we have for you this morning on the papers. Now let's begin to delve into some of the stories.
I think he needs to just use that story to wrap up because our time is fast spent.
Okay.
We don't have much time here.
Okay, you want to talk about your sports?
Sports. I want to use this medium opportunity to sound a note of warning to NFL. They are part of what cost millions of football lovers in Nigeria to go in on permutation. Will this one win? Can we draw this? Can this that? There wasn't any need for that. If we took our chances ab initio. Part of that is what is playing out now, that they are owing Richelle salary. How can you owe your chief coach salary and expect him to perform wonders? Especially where we are on a tightrope. Where we are on a tightrope, trying to see if we can, get through these playoffs, and we still have a continental playoff. I don't know what is wrong with our this African Nigerian people.
Well, you've said it all. I've always said it that when you motivate a worker, he goes beyond your imagination to do things ordinarily. Maybe his strength could not carry, but you will see the person do wonders more than you expect. Of course, let's learn to motivate our workers. Let's learn to motivate our children. When somebody does something that is good, appreciate the person with one or two things. Not to talk of if we're a coach being old. I don't know. we are so funny in this part of the world. And when you discuss with your counterparts in a more developed clime, you begin to weep for our nation. But we believe all will be well. Thank you so much, Jerry, for your time this morning. All right, actually, this is where we are. All right, this is where we are wrapping up the press review for this morning. We'd like to thank you so much for always joining us on this platform. Good morning, Anambra Show. My name is Nonya Nwokoye. Thank you so much.
And I'm Ajuruchukwu Okagwe saying, sit back, relax, because we have a whole lot more for you this morning.